I'm still alive, and at California Adventure at the Disneyland Resort, there's this ride called Soarin. If you've never been, it's an immersive flight simulator that takes you to plenty of beautiful attractions around the world. You see the Great Pyramids, Fiji, the Sydney Opera House, etc. It's a great ride, one of my favorites, but one thing about it has always bothered me: the order. You start with the Matterhorn in the Swiss Alps, jump to Greenland, and then suddenly you're at Sydney Opera House in Australia. What an inefficient flight! You would waste so much valuable jet fuel. No, I'm kidding. They obviously ordered the ride for what would make the coolest experience, not for what would cost the least in a real-world scenario. But it did get me curious. What would be the most efficient route to see all 13 locations in Soarin? So to start with, here are the locations we need to visit on screen. So one of these is going to be really easy, the Disneyland Resort. I'm setting that as both our starting and end location, so we're taking off and landing at the same ride. So I've started out by plotting all the locations on a map. And immediately you'll notice some key anomalies. So to start with, Disneyland is right next to Monument Valley, so we need to get that either at the very beginning or at the end. Then you'll notice that the Matterhorn, Neuschwanstein Castle, and the Eiffel Tower are all really in the same area, so we should be able to get those in one fell swoop. Alright, now let's begin. So the way I see it, the best option is to immediately go to Monument Valley. It's close by, but it also gets us closer to everywhere else we need to go. That's a 491-mile first flight, which brings us to our first real decision of this challenge. Where do we fly from Monument Valley? We could fly down to Iguazu Falls in Brazil, or go straight across the Atlantic to the Eiffel Tower. But I think what makes the most sense is to fly upward to the ice fjords of Greenland. It's the most out of the way of all of our destinations, but that flight to Monument Valley puts us at least on the right direction, so we won't have to double back later. So our second flight is the 3,102-mile journey to the ice fjords, which brings us up to the total of whatever number is on screen now. From Greenland, we only really have one option, which is to take the 2,246-mile flight down to Paris. Then we'll fly the brisk 320-mile journey to the Matterhorn, then end this area with a 181-mile flight to Neuschwanstein Castle. From here, we'll fly the 1,627 miles to Cairo to visit the Great Pyramids of Giza. But after that, we have a difficult choice. Either we can head east to India to see the Taj Mahal, or fly south to see Mount Kilimanjaro. And there's problems with both. If we bypass Kilimanjaro, it could potentially be pretty far out of our way to double back. But right now, it's a big detour to go all the way back down there, then go up to India again. So for now, we're just gonna have to take the 2,833-mile journey to the Taj Mahal. Then we'll head north and fly to the Great Wall of China, 2,370 miles away. And after that, we can enter the home stretch. First, we overshoot Sydney and head straight to Fiji, a 5,629-mile journey. Then we fly back west to hit everything we've bypassed. First, we head to the Sydney Opera House, 1,987 miles away. Then head to Tanzania to get Mount Kilimanjaro, a staggering 7,447-mile journey. Then we go back across the Atlantic to our final destination, Iguazu Falls, 6,238 miles later. Then finally, we head back north to get home to Disneyland, 5,849 miles away. And with that, we've done it. We've taken the most efficient way to hit all 13 stops in the Soarin route. The original Soarin route looked like this, taking 79,846 miles to complete the journey. But with my updated Soarin route, we did it in half that, taking just a 40,326 mile journey. So should Disney change to my version? Definitely not. Their version is way better, but if you're planning on going on a roundabout world trip to see all the locations in Soarin, take my route. It'll be so much easier and cheaper, relatively speaking. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and Nate, I'll see you tomorrow.